welcome to the seventh thought for the day in my series describing lessons I have learnt through my experience of playing the cello. Before long, as everybody knows, I was thoroughly hooked on everything related to the cello. It was nearly 2 years down the line and I had bought a better cello, kept up with my lessons and regular practice, and been on a few residential courses. It was on one of these courses that I met a very elderly man who lived in Leigh-on-Sea, and we arranged to meet up a couple of times to play duets together. Shortly afterwards, he was asked by a local string ensemble to come and join them, as they did not have a cellist in the group. But he considered it would be too much for him at 86, so he suggested they contact me. I was flattered, but rather concerned. Although I had progressed fairly well, I was only too aware of my shortcomings as a cellist, and did not think I was good enough to join a regular group. However, it was suggested I come to a rehearsal to see how I got on. So with great trepidation, but with a sense that I had nothing to lose by trying, I turned up. Music was put in front of me that I had to sight read. It was a case of sink or swim. It was an incredibly difficult piece of music, one which I still struggle to play even now. But everybody started playing and I just went for it. I got lost a few times but managed to get by and find where I was supposed to be, and somehow reached the end at the same time as everyone else. The leader of the group decided if I could cope with that, I could probably manage most things they were currently working on. And that was the beginning of my association with Simply Strings, that has lasted through 8 years, 16 concerts, a few weddings and other events, and has only come to a stop, I hope temporarily, because of the lockdown. I love the experience of playing music with other musicians and the opportunity to learn from others. It is great to be a part of something that brings pleasure to many, as is indicated by the popularity of our concerts. I have also found that I actually enjoy being part of the organisation of the group, sorting out the music, and generally helping with various tasks to keep it running smoothly. I have made lots of friends, and as many of you will know, the rehearsals and concerts now take place in our church buildings, prompting some of the members and audience to ask questions about the church itself. So what about church? Perhaps you've always considered yourself to be a Christian, or you may have come to faith quite recently, but you've never considered becoming part of a church fellowship. Unfortunately for some, that is because of past experiences of church that have not been positive. Can I suggest a few reasons why I think it would be a good idea to reconsider it? Firstly, it's great to be part of something bigger. Yes, of course you can be a Christian without going to church, but belonging to a larger organisation gives so much more scope to expand your experience of Christianity. It also makes you aware how many others there are who do share your faith. Secondly, it provides support and help. You can all learn from each other. Sometimes we make mistakes together and learn from the experience. Sometimes a leader will simply have a suggestion for how we can do something a bit better by approaching it from a different angle. 3. We can make friends who share our interest in Jesus. It's good to maintain friendship with people who have not yet come to faith. Otherwise, who is going to help them on that journey? However, as time goes by, you will find yourself wanting to spend time with people who share your faith and know how you are likely to be thinking. You are most likely to find those friends in a church fellowship. Then we find opportunities for service. You may not be aware that some skill or interest that you have is just what the church is looking for at a particular time, and there is nothing like being useful to improve your self-esteem. You may even find that you are able eventually to participate in an upfront capacity. And then finally, it's biblical. Hebrews 10 verse 25 says, "Let us not give up the habit of meeting together as some are doing. Instead, let us encourage one another all the more, since you see that the day of the Lord is coming nearer." The The writer was fully aware of the benefits of meeting together. Yes, I know, the church is not perfect. That's because it is made up of imperfect people who make mistakes, get things wrong, and sometimes need correcting. If your previous experience of church was not good, why not give it another try? And don't worry about not being accepted. Unlike an orchestra, there is no audition to see if you are suitable to join a church. You just come and join in. Then, as time goes on, offer your talents and abilities, and you will find that the more you put into it, the greater the blessing it becomes to you and others. So why not take the plunge? If you have never been to a church before, now is actually a very good time to start, because so many churches, including the Estuary Church Group, are having their services online. You can come anonymously, watch a service on YouTube or Facebook, and take your time to start feeling comfortable before making the decision to get involved. Don't worry about not being good enough, none of us are, but we help each other to become better acquainted with Jesus. Throughout this seemingly interminable time of lockdown and restrictions, there are 3 things that I have missed terribly. One is meeting up with my family, particularly my grandchildren, as I know many other people are as well. Then it's meeting with my church family to worship together. And then it's meeting with Simply Strings to play music and put on concerts together. How I've missed that. As I write this, we are waiting for possible hopeful news of an easing of restrictions. It cannot come soon enough for me, for I really believe that we are definitely better together.